that's one of the things that I really notice about your videos. You know, the pies in the face. I hate to say that the paintballs, you know, on the bare chest was entertaining, but you guys do have a very strong entertainment element. I mean, you're not just there reading from a script. I mean, you're actually delivering entertainment. I mean, is that intentional, or is it just because you guys are a bunch of fun guys to hang around?
Um, a bit of both. Not that we're a bunch of fun guys to hang around, but Dave is a bit of a character. If you haven't noticed, he's always loved acting. He's grown up that way, and so it was very natural for him to put on this persona of Miniwargamer Dave, and to just go all out with it. So he likes to be wacky that way. I'm a little more conservative, if you haven't noticed, but I've always been more for the. We have two very different styles, I guess is the way you can put it. Is he loves the entertainment side of it, and I like the educational side of it. That doesn't mean that he doesn't like the educational side and I don't like the entertainment side. I'm just saying that those are our obvious strong points. And so when you put those together, you get. I think it's more important to entertain than it is to educate when you're going for a YouTube channel, unless your goal is to educate, of course. And so we've tried to kind of lay back or sit back, enjoy ourselves, and just have a lot of fun with our videos. So the part of it is intentional, that we know that we need to entertain. This is an entertainment channel primarily, and an educational channel secondarily. And then the other part is that it's Warhammer. You have fun with it. And Dave's he actually is goofy in real life. So it's very natural the way he comes across on camera, and that kind of is contagious with everybody else. And then we just make sure that when we hire other people to be on camera, that they have a bit of those elements to them, so that they can not be boring on camera, but that they can be a good personality.
I was curious because for quite a while there, I just watched the steady increase of your subscriber numbers on your channel. Do you feel like you kind of have come up against a ceiling now? Because it doesn't seem like you're growing at quite the same rate, unless I'm missing something.
The growth is still there.
Okay.
It definitely. This is the disadvantage of being the #1 channel, is that you can't grow as fast as the smaller channels. That's really what it comes down to. There's always going to be rapid growth at first, and then there's usually a plateauing, and then followed by more growth after that. But it's not usually as fast as that initial growth. So I honestly don't really take a close look at those analytics. I don't watch our subscriber growth rates because I'm not too concerned about them. And we actually don't do a lot to grow our subscribers besides just trying to create as many good videos as we can. And because that's the most important thing. A lot of people talk about tips and tricks and how to grow your YouTube channel. And heck, even YouTube's published a document on how to maximize on it. But if you really look at the top YouTube channels out there, most of them don't do anything except create awesome content. Like one of my favorite channels on YouTube is Husky StarCraft, because I love StarCraft 2 and I love watching the battle reports. And that's actually where those StarCraft battle reports are what encouraged playstyle of the beat map bat reps. And when I've looked at his videos, they're poorly titled. They have usually no descriptions, if any description at all. And he has some playlists, but overall his channel is unoptimized and really not that impressive. And he reached over 500,000 subscribers a long time ago. Sorry, yeah, 500,000 subscribers without any of that stuff. He doesn't even put annotations really in his videos. He just creates a lot of good content that people want to watch. And so you naturally are going to subscribe to that. You're naturally going to share it. You're naturally going to post it somewhere else, and all these different things. So I think that's the most important thing, is forget the tips and tricks, just create awesome content. And so talking about our subscriber growth, that's it's going to do it naturally. And so we're going to keep putting out content out there. More important is what we do with those subscribers, and so I monitor more the traffic on our website and the sales on our website and the membership signups. That's where I really need to focus my attention, because if we see those slip, then if there's less revenue, then we can't hire more people, we can't make more videos. So that's where the whole business is kind of focused around.
Okay. So that kind of touches on the other question I wanted to ask, is how closely do you follow your YouTube analytics? And it doesn't sound like that closely.
I check them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just somewhat out of curiosity, and sometimes just to see if there's any new insights that I can gain. But not very closely, as I've already said. I follow more of the analytics on our website, but even that, it's the analytics I follow the most are our sales.
Yeah.
Because that's more indicative of how the business is doing. and then if I see sales drop or climb, then I'll usually check the other analytics to see if there's some correlation there. Like, oh, have we had less people? Well, that would explain less sales. If not, then we have to look at something else. So yeah, I don't follow it really closely. It's a lot easier to follow it closely when you're first starting off, because you're more interested in it, and you're every subscriber is exciting.
Solid goal, yeah.
Yeah, it's just you just really want to see that. But no, our attention has shifted a lot elsewhere.
Obviously, you don't use analytics to develop your channel strategy, but you do have a channel strategy, it seems like.
Yes. Well, the channel strategy is pretty simple, once again, and that is to create the best content that we can. We basically, and this has come naturally now that we've been doing it for almost 5 years, but before, when we would look at creating content, there's two things to look at. How long does it take to create that video? Because people are being paid by the hour here, or by salary, and we've got overhead with our office space and our warehouse and store. And so the amount of time it takes to create a video is important to figure out. And so things like the Life of a Wargamer video series, those are quick. Dave can typically think of one and get it done by the afternoon. Battle reports are pretty good as well. We've kind of honed those, and there's a time it takes to play the game, and then it's usually just a few hours to get the video, all the parts all done. Then you get your tutorials. Those ones take 2 or 3 days to get one single video out. So you have to look at the time it takes, and then you have to look at the quality of the entertainment and the educational value of the video. And so the more time it takes, it better have a higher quality. And how do you tell what quality it is? Well, actually the number of views it gets. So you can have a super polished video, but if it's not getting a lot of views, then you have to ask yourself, is it worth making that video? And that's the funny thing, is that we can hone a painting tutorial and then put it out, and it'll get so many views, and then we quickly throw out a battle report, and it'll get 3 times as many views. And so that's the strategy right there. We're like, okay, so we'll put less time into that and more time into that, because viewers have told us, not by their comments, not by their emails, but by simply what they do, their behavior, what it is that they care about most. And so that is really the strategy we look at. We say what videos are getting more views, we'll do more of those, but we still want to keep the content branched out to cover more things. Like fantasy will always get less views than 40K, but we'll still keep doing it. War Machine doesn't get quite as many views as 40K, but we're still going to do it because we want to grow that audience as well. So you have to kind of take all that into consideration. Now, if you're a one-man show again, it's completely different, because for one thing, you don't have the overhead. It's more of a hobby you're doing it for, and so you can really do whatever strategy you want. But when you're getting into a business like ours, where there's money being put into these videos, people are being paid 40 hours a week, and then 4 weeks out of the month, that you can kind of do the math how much that can cost, and then also you throw in several employees doing it. You really have to make sure that you're making the right types of videos, and not skipping out on the quality just to get more videos out there. 6
editions come out. Initial thoughts?
So far, I like most of the changes. I was surprised, actually. Most of the time, from my experience, when Games Workshop comes up with a new edition, it's usually a step sideways. They're like, hey, we need something new. We don't have to improve it, we just need it new. And just to change things up and to generate new interest. And so that's what I was expecting with 6th edition, so I wasn't looking forward to it. I'm like, I'm just going to have to learn new rules.
Yeah.
They're going to fix one thing and break another, and that's the way it's going to be. But I've actually really liked 6th edition so far. There's some elements that I don't like. I don't like character challenges. I don't think it makes sense for a lot of the armies. I don't like the mysterious terrain. That might end up being fun, but it's just one more thing to remember.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like a lot of the changes, the special rules and the wound allocation changes, and how vehicles have changed a lot. Now they're a little easier to kill in a lot of ways, at least for certain armies. And overall, we've been starting to play games. We've been starting to make videos to show those changes, and I'm really liking the way it looks.
I think the one thing that stands out to me is allies, and I think that was just a brilliant move. Without having to actually go out and make new armies, they've made new armies and new units available to people who already have existing armies, and they've made it interesting again. And I think that it'll help sales for retailers as well as for their corporate, bottom line.
Yeah, and that's definitely what their goal is, after all. People complain about that. They say, well, they focus too much on the money aspect, but I hate to tell you this, if there's no money, there's no miniatures. So same thing with us. That when we started doing our Miniwargaming Vault, the membership side, some people complained saying, well, now you're selling out and you're taking your videos and we're not going to be able to see them anymore because you're putting them in the vault. It's actually the opposite. because of the Vault, we have more free videos. If you actually look at how many of the free videos we put out, as opposed to, I don't know, a couple of years ago when the Vault was much smaller, we couldn't afford to put out more videos. But now that we have so many Vault members, we've been able to hire more people who create videos both for the Vault and for free. And so it's the same idea that they need to make, you want them to make more money. You want Games Workshop to make as much money as possible. Because with that money, you know they're going to take that and they're going to invest it in making more miniatures and better miniatures. You might not agree with their strategies, you might not agree with their pricing, you might not agree with their codexes and or codices, you might not agree with Matt Ward, but in the end, if you like the game and you like the models, you want them to make more money. And so those kind of strategies will work. Sure, not all of them make sense. The allies, they kind of come across some of the fluff, and you're like, okay, they're starting to push the envelope a little bit for how the fluff works. Everybody gets allies except for the Tyranids. Unfortunately, there's one big red line across the bottom saying, sorry, you don't cooperate with anybody. And I was worried that the Tyranids would have allies. I was like, what are they going to do for that? If you throw in allies with the Tyranids, all of a sudden, how does that make any sense whatsoever? But thankfully they didn't. But yeah, you want them to have those kind of strategies. They need to think of ways to get people to buy more models, and that's what you want. You actually do want that, believe it or not. And that way your game sticks around and gets even more models and allows you to have even more fun in your hobby.